Yo, it's your boy Henji.
What's good? It's Tweez.
We back up and running here on Check Up One on One. Tweez, what's good, my boy?
You already know I'm ready to dive into the docket.
Let's jump right to it, man. We got a whole bunch to talk about. Before we get right into this document, we got the Super Bowl, 2 weeks from now.
Coming soon.
We got the Chiefs, we got 49ers. We're going to talk about, the things that happened before, Super Bowl, we got Taylor Swift, who's also involved in the bowl. Got a question for you, my man.
What's that?
Is there a bigger draw to the game for someone that's not performing, someone not playing, than Taylor Swift? Is there anybody bigger that could help the game than Taylor Swift?
Consistently, I think there's bigger draws that can come, but not consistently. Like this whole Travis connection is making it so that you know that she's coming. I don't think there's anything that can compete with the consistency. They say, what is it? That's the best ability is availability.
OD.
And now we got this big star who's seemingly available every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Nothing big.
There's a whole thing about the Super Bowl, about her coming to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Because the day before the Super Bowl, she has a performance in Japan. Japan is apparently 17 hours ahead, and there's this whole thing about...
Is she going to make it?
Is she going to make it to the bowl? So like I said, is there a bigger draw than, Taylor Swift?
Nah, she's going to make it.
I don't know if there's anybody... I think there could be one person bigger, I think it's going to be an ongoing debate. And it's, Beyonce.
Yeah, that's that. But here's the thing. Where do you get consistency for Beyonce to show up, though?
Who would be the person to get her to show up?
Yeah, like how does that happen?
Only way would be like Jay's the owner of the team, or like GM. He would be like some sort, like
now
real figurehead.
We got a shootout now.
Of the team.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
We got a shootout.
So
I think if we really look at it, Beyonce smokes some boots.
Beyonce got more followers on Instagram. I'm not sure who's really just selling more records. Probably Taylor Swift, I would assume.
Legend test, Beyonce still.
I think so too. So I think Beyonce, is the bigger draw, man. What do you think about Rihanna?
I think Rihanna could do it.
I don't
think Rihanna would do it. I think there's a part of the mystique that goes to Rihanna that says that she just would not be somewhere every Sunday. No chance.
Yeah, I got you. Good girl gone bad. They ain't doing that. No need for that consistency. Right. I hear you. Let's jump right into the docket, my boy. Hey, man, as we said, the Chiefs and the Niners are headed to the bowl. Let's talk about these NFC and AFC championship reactions, man. Which one you want to get to first, my boy?
Can we talk about Lamar? Let's just get that out of the way.
I'm hoping you didn't go there first, but you're right. Let's get the difficulty out the way now. I'm getting it off my chest. Lamar Jackson, 20-37, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 fumble. Carried the ball 8 times, 54 yards. He did throw for 272 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 30-39, 1 touchdown. No turnovers of any kind. Pretty consistent play all game long. Nothing crazy up until the last play. All right. To MVS to seal the game. Lamar Jackson didn't particularly play his best football game. I'm a put it out there. He did not play his best football game. I believe he's the league's MVP this year, but he didn't play his best football game. That's fair. And I am not taking any blame for Lamar Jackson. I want that to be said here. But Ravens, offensive coordinator John Harbaugh, were y'all not in communication? I honestly feel like somebody needed to give these guys intervention during the game. Ravens, you guys rush average per game 30 times a game. Yesterday, 16 times?
Where was the run?
Did you forget who you were? Are you unaware? Stick to the script. And I believe that is what cost the Ravens yesterday. That is what cost the Ravens on Sunday. You got a defense playing stout. I mean, the Chiefs only scored 17 points.
Oh, they allowed 17 points.
They didn't score in the second half. 67 total yards what the Ravens defense gave up in the second half. And we can't score. Again, Lamar wasn't special yesterday. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary other than the catch when he threw the ball.
Wow, 13-yard reception.
That was cool. It doesn't really mean much. Crazy athletic play. Like I said, doesn't really mean much. And I mean, Ravens didn't play football as their best. But the Chiefs really just showed that they are the champions. They're consistent. They played flawless. Defense came to play. Lights out. Chris Jones, just difference maker. Didn't have any tackles out there, but he's just making plays. Quarterback hurry. The crazy pass deflection on third down, which was going to stop a home run screenplay.
So you said he was MVP of that game, right?
He was a valuable player. I'd probably go with Pacheco as the MVP. He's just consistent. He's catching the ball, he's running the ball, scoring touchdowns, making it do it, and he had 24 carries yesterday. Again, for only 68 yards, didn't go crazy, but there was an establishment of the run.
And I'm just disappointed that we didn't get to see kind of that evolution. Thought this was the year for Lamar to show and prove. I feel like he didn't play his best football, but there was more to be said about the idea. Now, what you said resonates with me, that they just didn't run the football.
Run themselves.
So we just didn't see, like, go out on your sword, go out on your shield. This is what you do. Go out that way. Especially when the game's, it's 17-10. It's not like you're trying to come back from some unsurmountable lead or anything like that. The first initial punch, I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked to see someone score on the Ravens on the first drive. Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but then I think it was Zay Flowers. You're right back in the end zone. All right, so we're back 0-0. So I kind of expected a heavy dosage of the run, a lot of Gus. Didn't see a lot.
No Gus Bus.
Interesting. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Just expected to see a lot more, and I think that carries more into like the negative view that I have for the game that transpired. But literally, really, I do understand what Lamar was saying, that he's proud of his guys. 17-10. But you guys were the favorites.
Yeah.
You're supposed to win. It was a close game. Yeah, you didn't get embarrassed or anything.
Yeah.
You were supposed to win, man.
Yeah.
You were supposed to take that home. You're supposed to change the narrative about you. And that just didn't happen.
Do you think Lamar can change the narrative, and can the narrative be changed about him in a season or two?
Unfortunately, I think, not to cross sports, but I think this reminds me a lot of Joel Embiid's struggle.
In terms of what?
In terms of how Lamar just captured the MVP. Finally got over that hump.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him the MVP. I like what happened for Joel last year. Kind of sputtered out of the playoffs in a way that we didn't expect. And this is what just happened to Lamar. He's going to have to come out kind of like how Embiid has come out this year, with a point to prove across the bear. And he's going to play out of his mind to evade having these conversations about him being stuck at a certain tier of quarterback.
Yeah. In my opinion, he's just going to have to win the big game. And at this point, like they said, he couldn't win a playoff game. He won. Got the bye. He won. Now he's been to the championship game of the conference. Now he's got to just win the game.
So you wish more about stages for you.
Yes.
He's accomplished the stage.
Right.
Okay.
He's got to win the game at this point. You're the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Presumably going to be the two-time MVP if you get this one coming up this season. Now it's time to win the game. Then after you win the game, Super Bowl. But you don't got too much time in between. That is the thing.
I mean, this window in football is just so much shorter.
But he's so great. So I believe that, you know what I mean, as long as they keep guys around him, his greatness is going to always keep the window open. You know what I mean? Now we got to move on to the NFC Championship game. Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers.
I smell something wrong.
Hmm.
Smells like something just went the wrong way. Like everything was under control in the bag. Time for a new statement for a franchise, for them to step up and show improved quarterback to establish himself, a coach, an owner. Right? We didn't get to see that. And then we saw what's more disappointing is that Barry was outside.
Barry was there. They brought Barry out. Barry was sitting there in box seats, high-fiving the GM, making it happen. That's what Barry was doing. Y'all brought Barry out there to do that.
Can you tell me what has you most perturbed about what happened in the game?
Let me tell you this. We played JV basketball store in sophomore year, Blake High School. We played Sherwood High. Had a guy on our team. Like, ain't gonna say his name. You know who he is. Nice. Could dunk. We're winning the game by 1. Came down transition. He missed the dunk with like 13 seconds left. They came down, score, and game over. Coach came back in the locker room. Coach Ryan Wagner, good man.
Wags.
He came, he said, the same things that'll make you laugh will make you cry. All we had to do was make the layup the old-fashioned way. Could have been a very much different outcome. Dan Campbell. The same things that make you laugh will make you cry. You don't want to kick field goals on 4th down? In field goal range? With the kicker that didn't miss all playoff long? Who's made 50? And you weren't even within 50 yards? You're up 24-10. 4th and 2 from the 28-yard line. 45-yard kick. You go for it. You decide to go for it. You don't get it. What then happens? A 17-0 run. Then by the Niners. Now it is 24-27. Niners. You now have it 4th and 3 in Niners territory. On the 30. 47-yard kick. And again, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but dog, that's a rather, you know what I mean? That's almost like a free throw. 47-yard kick. You go for it again. What happens? You don't get it. You end up losing the game by 3. 2 opportunities to kick. I'm not saying these are opportunities to put the game away, but these are opportunities, especially the first time, to stretch the lead. That changes the entire way the 49ers play this football game if you guys do what you got to do, which is score 1 more 3, like you would have had the opportunity to do later on in the game.
Up 17, it's 3 possessions, right?
Dan Campbell, I think you are a great coach, great guy. Love the philosophy. But if you want to win the Super Bowl, it just needs some tweaking. Because we all know, to win the Super Bowl, you got to play the best football.
You can't leave the points on the board.
You know what I mean? The smartest football. And you did not. Dan, I got to know what's going on. Please.
Do you think it's about the emotional scarring? I think there's more to the story. Can you tell me more about the story? What else would contribute to him having anxiety about putting a kicker out on the field?
So what I do know is, what I did realize is the kicker that he had now.
Yeah, they got rid of one, right?
All right, right. He was the kicker last season in 2022 season. He went 20-24 in the 2022 season, and he did not return back 2023 season. He was not re-signed this season. They brought on a kicker this
Okay.
season. Released him around week 15, week 14. Brought back the guy that started the season in 2022. So he finished the season and played for the playoffs. Like I said, he played the playoffs. He played pretty flawless. He made all his field goals. But I think the fact that he brought back the guy that he released, he was like, no. Down the stretch, I'm going to handle this.
It's on me, baby.
I'm going to do what got us here.
It's on me, baby.
But what I'm here to say is,
You got to.
bro, you got to play the right way. And I'm not saying what you're doing is necessarily wrong. I get it. And you have the whole team behind you, whole city behind you. I just believe at this time you got to just do the right thing. And that was the right thing to do for the team. Take the 3. Move on. Build the lead.
He did the right thing for him. Made it all about him.
Yeah, in a sense.
And it cost them.
In a sense, yeah, man. But so they got 2 weeks. We get a week off. As an NFL football, get time to recalibrate and get ready for Chiefs and Niners. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with. Hate to do it, Kansas City. Gotta take it. I gotta look. I this past weekend I took Lamar. I believed. I said, it's their year in Baltimore. I know Pat is Pat. My exact quote was Pat is Pat, but it's Lamar's turn, right? Pat is just Pat.
That's Pat.
Pat is Pat. And yes, Brock has the opportunity now to change his tag as game manager forever. I think because he's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to make some plays. It's gonna have to be a show from him if they're gonna defeat the Chiefs. But I got the Chiefs. What you got?
Mr. Irrelevant. They've been playing with you all year. They've been playing with you all year long. It's time to finish. Team's relatively healthy. You're good. You seem to be putting drives together down the stretch. Mr. Irrelevant, it's time to be relevant. It's time to get a check somehow, some way. Let's do the damn thing. They're going to bring one back to the Bay.
No, let me tell you this.
It's been a while.
Let me tell you this. There will be no pride issues. There will be no mistakes of the Campbell of the Campbell variety. None of that will be going on. And definitely won't be any mistakes or mishaps at the QB position. There will be none of that. So you better bring that perfect game, Brock.
Respect my boy.
You better have all hands on deck. No, Kittle, what you did, you better come looking like Tony Gonzalez.
Don't worry, baby boy. Don't worry, baby boy. They coming through. Hey, man. Now we about to switch gear to the NBA. We dribble that basketball, man. Huge move was made last week in Milwaukee. Adrian Griffin was given the boot. Wow. An NBA champion, Hall of Fame coach, Doc Rivers, has been appointed to the job. Tweez, talk to me.
Small claps for Doc. I'm happy for Doc, right? I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. I don't have the best of hopes or expectations for it. I think Doc is a great coach, right? But I think there are tiers to this. I don't think he's P enough for this. And by P enough, I mean Phil Pop Pat. Say it again. Phil Pop Pat. That is a different type of coaching. I'm not even the big Popovich guy, but when we're talking about accomplishments, those are the only guys that got more wins than Doc. So Doc is something. Don't get me wrong, right? But there's such a gap between him and those guys.
Yeah.
Right? I think we're bringing in someone who is a product of not just his own success, but just being in the right situations a little bit.
Yeah.
And be able to work with that, right? But he's never done anything to show me that, or to impress me with a lingering impact on me. Like, oh, I remember when he did this and made this coaching move and this, that. Never that to me personally. Much respect to the championship.
Yeah.
I don't know what adjustments he's going to do or make to make the Bucks better though.
I mean, here's what I gotta understand. What coach do you get? All you can do is get the guys available. And the guys available is Kenny Atkinson,
mm-hmm.
Mike D'Antoni,
mm-hmm.
James Borrego,
mm-hmm.
Dave Jorger, Mark Jackson. Who do you select that is the pool that's available?
Look, man,
right now.
That's not a good pool to
me. And
me.
What you got to do is choose from the guys of that pool. Because what do? Bring back Coach Bud? You know what I mean? You fought. Get Terry Stotts, who the other coach just kicked out the building.
I mean, I understand you wholeheartedly. You got to pick out of that bunch, right? And that bunch is not too sweet. I guess Doc is probably the king of that litter, right? Maybe. But it still doesn't change how I feel about Doc and playoff performances and adjustments.
Doc is the perfect guy for the job for a team ready-made to win.
Okay.
Doc will put together a defensive scheme. He's just going to need some bodies to remain healthy. Because Doc seems to have trouble running into that. Some health as well. No one ever talks about that. Blows 3-1. Healthy. We need that. He keeps that. I think this team, it'll be just fine. Now, I do understand he's got to go ahead and rebuild the whole brand of basketball because you got to basically re-implement a system out here defensively.
Does he? Well, I mean, I guess defensively he could just or revert. Like what we know Griffin changed up the thing with having the bigs run up and be up all high and that kind of messed up their back line. And
yeah,
I get that. But Doc can just reset it right back. That's what he's there for, right? To be a player's coach, to listen to what the players want. And
he definitely has to do that, but he definitely has to install it. There has to be calls for it. You know what I mean? He just can't be saying, "Hey, trap here." There's got There's got to be calls for this. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. There's got to be principles for for these things.
But how tough of a situation is it for you to come in? The situation's not really that poor if you're 30-13 when you get to the job. It's not like you're coming in. You are changing everything, but you're not rebuilding something that's like, we're about to spiral out of control. No, he's not doing anything.
I mean, I think that I agree with 30-13, but the 30-13 is also kind of shaky. They had the easiest record in the first half of the league by a long shot.
Schedule, you mean?
I mean, yeah, easiest schedule, easiest schedule in the league by a long shot. Nearly played nobody. None of the big dogs yet. They get into it for really after the All-Star break. So I mean, the 30-13 is nice, but there are things that they're going to have to rebuild, and you don't have too much time to rebuild because you had the punching bag games to do that in early. Now you got the big dog games, and those are highly microscope games, and you don't really have time to be using a highly microscope games to kind of build on. So this is a tough job. But again, I believe Doc is the guy for this tough job. Doc is the guy to be able to get these vets together and have their minds ready to win this championship on one accord. I think that he's just the one to make it happen for these guys.
Look, I don't think there's too much to having. If I'm a coach, if I have Giannis and Dame, there's not really too much of an issue right now. And then, it's not like they're just alone, two and done. Nah, you got Brooke, you got Portis, you got, I think you just switch the lineups about, you change your playing time. You don't have to play Malik Beasley 25 minutes. You don't have to have them struggling out there. And maybe it's different for Malik Beasley and Dame as soon as you just let Brooke get back to dropping.
This is true. Yeah, Brooks should be back in drop coverage again. Him and Giannis don't got to be out on the perimeter, trapping all high and high hedging on these screen and rolls. No, that's not them. They want to drop back, protect the rim, shoot some threes. We'll put a hand out late, get rebounds, close the possession. That was the big thing for the Milwaukee Bucks. They used to close possessions with rebounds. They secured rebounds.
It was done.
That was the big thing, and that really wasn't happening at the same rate that it used to happen. So like I said, I'm with Doc. It's always fear the deer. I'm still going with them. I think they will go ahead and do what they got to do, but they got to find a way to play some defense. Let's be honest. They got to find a way to trickle their way into middle of the pack of the league. Somehow find a way into the top 10, but at the bottom of the top 10. They got to find their way up there if we really got championship aspirations in Milwaukee. Yeah, man, let's move it right along, switching gears. As we the Bucks are our top scoring team. Let's move into this NBA high scoring. Dog. Luka, 73. Embiid, 70. Karl Anthony Towns, 62. Giannis, 64. D-Book, 62. Those are the high scores of just this season alone.
Ew.
What do you think about the high scoring? What's up with it?
I think it's just it's a function of the pace. The pace of the game has changed. The skill set of every position has changed. The spacing on the floor has changed. We're just getting a lot. But I also think that the top tier players we have right now are just in a different gear at this current moment. All those other factors are still in play, but we're just talking about, just think about as the beginning of the season. Before we start seeing these crazy numbers, we still got to marvel at things like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry at this age, still just being so efficient, teetering around 30 points a game, right? That's just crazy because the skill set of this generation of players is allowing for just higher efficiency. We knew that it was going to develop if the best players of our games are reaching these new points. Then as the new players come in, they're going to be erasing those records. That's just the trends of the NBA. That's just how it's been, right? So offense is just on fire. Best efficiency.
So what's up with the defense, though?
Okay.
On the other end,
I'd like to say that defense. I feel like it's just a tough job now, man. It's a tough job now when it comes down to whether or not you want to get paid. I think the best teams are the teams that have that kind of the best defensive teams are the teams that kind of have that figured out, because guys are willing to sell out and allow their man to score points to help and to be out of position and go with a defensive scheme rather than having this individual mindset of being glued onto your man. Also, I feel like there just weren't a bunch of 6'8", 6'9" chameleons running around on offense. You could kind of position-wise save yourself from someone who's extremely dominant. And now it's kind of okay, you load up at the basket for this guy, whoever it may be, right? You load up at the basket. You're not letting him get to the paint. All right, now he's high screen and roll, and he's shooting mid-ranges and three-pointers.
Stepping back from the tray rock.
Now he's doing that.
Like Luka.
73. Now he's doing that.
Roasting them boys.
Right. Well, here's the thing about Luka. Let's get into that. All right. He put on a show.
Step backs.
He put on a show.
Throughs.
But easily, I'm not trying to add to this trend that we're talking about with defense in the league, right? But that was poor. Poor and porous defense by the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, when you watch watch this, you'll see Jalen Johnson and miserable attempts at trying to stop Luka from getting to the basket. Miserable attempts. Looks like he's scared of him. Looks like he's playing with a force field around him. Right? All right. So then there's a thing about Luka's performance. It's probably everybody's gonna not. Maybe you won't like this take, but it's reality. It's the least impressive 70-point game I've ever seen in history. And I'm talking about the ones recently, right?
He said it.
There's only been 4, and there's been 4 out of the last 20 of them have been in the last 2 years. So that says something about now, right? 1. But there's no way you're going to tell me you're more entertained by Luka's 70-point Olay run, 73 Olays, than what Embiid just did the other week. There's no way you're going to tell me that. How about when we watched Devin Booker have 70? Granted, they lost. There's no way. We saw fades. We saw evasion. We saw difficult shots. Luka was laying the rock up like you press, like going to the basket, and you know how to get a green layup in 2K. That's what 2K. That's what Luka looked like last night. He's going to the basket.
So Embiid 70 over Luka 70 for sure.
For sure, easy for me in terms
like
of
cheese.
In terms of me being impressed and like watching and like, oh wow. Luka's buckets in that game looked like a montage of the easiest buckets that he received over maybe like a 3-game period. So I will say it was a lot, right? But it just looked like a lot of waltzes to the basket. And again, not taking away from the ability to score at that volume, but there was only that fade. It was like a fade. I think it was his 55th point where he dribbled right. The guy kind of jabbed at him. It might have been Sadiq Bey, who was the only person even trying out there against him. And he had to fade behind the basket, going to the right.
Going to the right.
Wow. And I'm like, oh, that's what I'm used to seeing when we're watching these people go for buckets. Like even Kobe's 81, there was very few waltzes. A lot of pivot, spin. Now I will hit. Luka was definitely hot from Trey, right?
Yeah.
But even those, it wasn't until like after he started getting to like 55 and 60 that I started saying you start feeling like, whoa. Like, all right, maybe like 3 weeks ago, Keegan Murray exploded.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just a bunch of trays. But even some of those trays are like, oh, he's hot. Dog, really? Come on, let's like go turn on the highlights and watch Luka. And at what moment do you think, oh, he's hot? It doesn't even look like when Kyrie had
for the 60?
The 60 against Orlando. It doesn't look like that. There's nothing like, whoa. It looks like you guys, that's Luka, right? You guys gonna guard him? Someone gonna foul him? Right? It doesn't look like that. So that's just how I feel about that.
Is anybody gonna break Kobe's 81 this season?
No.
That shit getting broke.
I hear you. You think it's gonna get broke?
That shit getting broke.
All right.
It's getting broke.
Yucky. The thing about it is, I just hope that if it does get broke, again, I hope it's not a waltz parade like we just watched. I just want to see if they're gonna do it. Let me see some impressive baskets. Let me see some effort on defense. Let me see someone looking like they don't want to be a part of this.
It's getting broke. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna break it, and I'm honestly thinking like Donovan Mitchell or Luka. Donovan can just hit the tray rock and he can just explode.
See, this is the thing.
And Luka can easily roll his way to 70.
But this is why
80.
But this is why the league is having a problem right now, right? Because like I get it, bro. But why won't someone have like the pride? Why are we not making fun of the Hawks right now? We should be making fun of them individually. There should be clips up. Somebody should be putting clips up of them getting cooked so they can feel some type of way. I remember when Kobe had 81, the Raptors were a laughing stock. They were already bad, but we laughed at all of them. Think about how we felt about Jalen Rose for a couple of months. What were you doing out there? What were you doing? Right? Hey. Why are we not feeling this way about what they just let happen? Right? What just happened here? Too many layups.
Will anybody ever get to Wilt's 100?
No.
Not happening?
No.
All that efficiency, all that true shooting.
Another wild take.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Wilt, 100? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I don't know, bro.
This man was averaging 50.
I don't
like
know.
What? He averaged 50.
What I'm saying when I say I don't know is I don't feel it. I don't care. I don't like. Come on, I'm being real. I don't care about Wilt's 100. I don't even think of that on the scorebooks. Like I respect it, but Kobe's 81 is the mark anyway. I just don't care. Y'all can pretend if you want. All of you out there, you can just keep pretending like y'all care about him holding up the piece of paper with 100 on it. It's very close to the moon landing for me. Don't care.
Oh, so he's in his bag.
Happened or didn't happen. Whatever. I don't care, bro.
He's like, hey, he's in his bag.
Wilt?
Hey, look, I don't think anyone's gonna reach the 100. I don't know. That is crazy for me to like really like see. But the 80, I can see that.
They're gonna have to show me.
I can see 80. That was just we just need to see literally like Embiid hit a couple more fadeaways, 80. You know what I mean? Luka would have hit 2 more threes and layups, 80. Like,
but who's on the floor though? You're right. Like I think maybe I would say this year has the best chance. There's 2 or 3 prideless teams playing right now. Like, you know, teams are usually bad.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like prideless teams. And the Hawks are not one of them.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're the ones. So if he could score 73 against the Hawks, I can't imagine what he might do on one of these prideless teams.
Like Detroit, Wizards,
Washington,
Charlotte.
They just don't care, bro. They just don't care. And so he gets hot on a night like that, it gets in danger, but I just think that one thing that saves Kobe, at least for maybe like another 3 to 4 years, right? I know, really, no funny. The psyche of the players of the league, I think they have at least that to kick into their gear. Like, let someone break Kobe's record against us.
But don't you think though against that, like after seeing these last couple of years, like I don't know, maybe players just want to have big games, maybe not break the record. But I think someone's like, dog, in honor of him, because he would want to do this too. Someone's got to break this record. Someone's got to go for 82. You know what I mean? And the fact that, you know, we have the 80-point game, and sadly, you know, his death, all in that same time period. Folks played some ball on those days, on those nights. We saw some scoring outbursts on those nights. So I think, honestly, it's coming soon. If it ain't before this season's over, please look for it again next year, same days. It's gonna be some scores. I love it for the league. You know, rest in peace, Kobe. But that is some great tradition building for niggas giving buckets on Kobe Day. So that's Jai Fire. Let's move on to our last thing on the docket here. These mid-season awards.
Hello.
We got 3 of them. We got mid-season Defensive Player of the Year award, mid-season MVP, and mid-season I'ma get a check award.
Bring the Brinks truck.
Let me get my breesh.
I need my
breesh. 4 Defensive Player of the Year tweets. Talk to him. Who it got, my boy?
Hey. I'd love to get back to the perimeter, but I just can't do it because this year, Rudy Gobert.
Doing his thing out here. Just defensive anchor for the Timberwolves, which is the best defensive team in the league.
Easy.
Rudy Gobert's that guy, man. I mean, there's this whole narrative.
Apologies are in order.
There's this whole narrative where, like, Rudy Gobert can't play in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert can't play against these specific teams that are out there to target him, again, which is good coaching. But things are different this year. Why? Because the team to beat has a big man, and that's the Nuggets. And the Timberwolves and Rudy Gobert, I'm not saying that he's the Joker stopper, but it's a better matchup than others. He is a taller human being. He's got size. He's long. And he just flat out can play defense. And he can, again, end possession with rebounds. So, again, Rudy Gobert is that guy, mid-season Defensive Player of the Year. If he can do the second half of the season just as he's done here in this first, he's a lock, in my opinion.
Easy.
I really believe maybe there's another guy, in my opinion, who's like back end steal another big. I believe that's Brook Lopez. Only because he is crushing this year in the league in block shots.
And most contests, he leads the league in contests.
And most contests as well. If he can just get on the glass, lift that average somehow, like 7, I believe.
He has a chance since he gets to drop back.
Yeah, he gets to drop back in that paint. Yeah, he gets that done. Let's move on to the mid-season MVP.
What you got, chill?
This is a runaway. right now for me. I mean, that this guy is he's doing some stuff that hasn't been done in the league.
Hands down.
I read something right now that says he is scoring more points per basket, I believe, than Wilt Chamberlain ever did. Um,
If ever did. No,
wow. This guy right now would be, if he continues the pace, he'd be back to back. Joel Embiid. He's balling. What is this? 21 straight 30-point games and stuff like that. Like, I mean, again, no center's ever done that again since Wilt Chamberlain. Um, or, right. You know what I'm saying? He's a ball player. I mean, he's leading these guys over there in Philly. Again, similar to Lamar Jackson, he's got to win the game. He's got to advance.
it's time.
We at very least need to see you get to the conference finals.
It's time.
Joel Embiid. I mean, like I said, you right now you're MVP. I believe you have it figured out. You're gonna keep playing the same way. You might not finish the season with a game under 30 points moving forward. He does have to play the rest of these games moving forward. I do believe he can only miss about 7 or 8 more games.
No, it's less than that now. 5 if he does not play against the Blazers, because he didn't play against the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't play against the Blazers, it'll be 5 after that.
So he's missing out on MVP, some All NBA, all that good stuff. He needs to play. So yeah, that is my guy for MVP. You got any words for Embiid? No.
Hey, Embiid, just stay on that floor, my guy. Don't leave that bag out there. You need that All NBA, and you need that MVP. Figure it out, bro. Even if you gotta play 10 minutes and ice that knee, ice that whatever it is. Get out on the floor, please. Don't let him do you like this, bro.
And our final award, mid-season, I'm going to get a check award. This guy is due for a big payday this summer based off his play. So we had to think of a few guys that were balling.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a runaway.
He's out of here.
This one's a runaway. This is the guy. I mean, you talk about the guy. He is the front runner of this archetype.
Slash and splash.
And splash. This is Tyrese Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Maxey.
Got the check coming.
Tyrese Maxey, I believe he's going to be headed to his first All-Star game.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, like, keep the guy out of there.
Can't.
26 points a game, 7 rebounds, shooting the three about 38% a game. Field goal is about 46%. He is balling. And if he makes this All-Star team and somehow stumbles on one of these All-NBA teams, woo! He is due for a major, major, major bag.
He definitely has a good chance to slither his way onto an All-NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
He got a good chance, especially if the Sixers continue to play as well as they are. He had a little time, and has a lot of time actually without Embiid playing. Hasn't been his greatest showings, but they didn't die. Right? So I think that he has a good chance to make All-NBA this year and really, really solidify and secure the bag.
No, he's got at least 150 at large coming to him at least. I'm trying to tell you, he got some breach.
Breach on the way. Breach loading.
That's what I'm here to let you know. You got any last words, my boy, before we get up out this joint, man?
Man, LA, it's time to dig deep. All right? We already told D-Lo what the deal was, bro. He took the deal. He took it under the table. Play your ass off. We got you. We gonna pay you. We gonna pay you, bro. We gonna pay you. And get you out of there. All right, if we got to. But, man, I don't really want to let D-Lo go. But at the same time, look, I see the plan in motion, LA. Let's get it.
Who's coming to town?
right? And if we want to go, so if we go like the bargain route, you know how like stores got Oreos and then they got the cookie cream sandwiches,
Yeah.
right? So we get the cookie cream sandwich version. Send Buddy over here. We won't even let nothing. Come on, Buddy Hill, baby. Let's get it.
See how that goes. Hey man, I wish y'all the best, man. We'll see how that goes, man. We gonna get going, dog. You know what I mean? We got this guy Speed on, our boy. You know what I mean? Nick Charles. That's one of our guys. He's to get it done for us over there at Morehouse College. Keep that thing going. You know what I mean? Go visit the store out there in New York. We gonna be out of here. We'll see ya. We out.